now that we've prepared all the materials, we can move on to making our flowers. We're going to start with the simplest rose, which is actually a closed rose bud. So you'll have 4 types of roses in this arrangement, and this is the smallest of them all, the simplest, so we'll start with it. So this one is a closed rose bud. You can see there aren't any petals there at all, but it will add volume and interest to the arrangement, and you can also combine it with more open flowers if you, for example, want to make a corsage or a buttonhole. So I want you to know how to make these as well. So we'll start by making a cotton wool center, cotton wool heart of the rose. Then we'll also need to make this part here, which is the future rose hip. Then we'll cover the stem with denim as well, after we've built it with different wires to give it a bit more stability and thickness, and then we'll finish it off all with a calyx, which will hide all the cotton wool inside. If you have lighter weight denim, I recommend using it, for example, for stems. You can use any denim, but a lighter one looks a little bit more neat, I would say, easier to handle as well. But you know, it's up to you. Whatever materials you have prepared, you can use anything. The final result might differ slightly depending on what materials you're going to choose. So to start working on this particular rose, we're going to take some wires, whatever you have. If you have thicker wires and longer wires, use them. I'm going to use, this is gauge 24, so I'm going to bend this double wire to create a loop into which I'm going to put in some cotton wool to build a small rose heart as a bud. So we'll need some glue. If you have thicker glue, it's good to use that. This stem is short. It will not work like this for a long stemmed rose, so we'll have to build it from here, but this is how we begin. So we want the tip relatively pointy so you can squeeze it. It shouldn't be too big, perhaps an inch or so. So just use some cotton wool. This one is the smallest rose, or rose bud even, so should be relatively small here. So keep it pointy at the tip and just wrap it into like a cone, not very big. You can put a little bit more if you want, but not much than this, because it is a closed bud that we're making. And actually this one is not really going to be seen because we have a calyx to go around it. So this is probably enough for this type of flower, because you know, these sepals do not come together completely in my rosebud. You can glue them solid, but mine are semi-open, so I'm going to use a tiny bit of fabric to cover this cotton wool a little bit, to just make sure that, you know, if anything is seen, it's going to be just blue fabric, and that's it. So like this. You can use you know, less or more transparent fabrics. This is supposed to be hidden inside the calyx. So just place the fabric around the cone. Now it's time to build the stem. So I have got several different wires here. I want stems to be about 40 centimeters long, let's say. You can decide to make longer arrangement or shorter. So I have this is quite a thick wire. This is number 20. And also I have these thinner ones. So what I want to do is I want to start adding them to my first wires, and I will need some either strips of cotton, or I have these light paper strips. So I'm going to just wrap it, or start wrapping it. Until these wires are finishing, then I need to add more wires here. Try to add them neatly so there is no visible change of thickness. And we'll add several coatings of paper and or fabric to build a smooth, strong stem that can stand in the vase. Right, I'm just going to go further along. I'm explaining how to make a stem in this lesson, but this is going to be the same for all the flowers. So once you've learned how to make your stems, you know, we're not going to be coming back to this particular part. So this is the same technique for all the flowers in this arrangement. Right, I'm going to measure my stem. So basically this is the length, and then I can get rid of extra wires here. You can use a pair of pliers to press. This is the length that I'm going to have. So now it's just a question of creating a smooth, solid stem with all these wires. So it's not, you know, you can't feel that the wires are breaking up anywhere. I'm going to cover it with a couple more layers of paper, and then a layer of cotton voile as well. So my stem is blue inside before I'm going to cover it with my denim fabric as an external layer. So before we coat this stem with denim, the one last layer is this cotton voile, which will, you know, keep the internal side of the stem dark blue, and no white is going to show. I'm just going to quickly cover it with this strip of fabric. Keep it at an angle so your wrapping is in place and the stem is relatively slim without adding too much bulk to it. I'm adding glue here and there just to keep everything attached. So after that we will put the stem aside to rest a little bit, and then we can concentrate on making the calyx for this rosebud, and in fact for all other roses it's the same calyx for all of them. So again, once you've learned how to do the calyx, it's going to be the same technique for all the flowers. Right, okay, so this is done. Just cut off excess, so you have a nice stem, slim but solid, so which will allow your flower to stand in the vase and, you know, not droop. Put it aside for a minute, and we can move on to the next step.